let's begin. Welcome back to Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta. As you can see on the screen, we have all our jobs unlocked, and the last one is Berserker. So, we will run into what I'm going to try to do is get everyone in grind mode, which is triple Berserker. I know we don't have a lot of cash, but basically we don't have much we can use. Period. The Ashura. No. Shurikens. All of them. The scrolls, sadly. Rods are going to be useful. Healing staff. Flail. Whip. Bell. The Moonring blades. The Frostbow. The Blitz whip. The ribbon. There's no triple crown for this crew. Thieves' gloves. And the useless stuff that we picked up along the way. We have a lot we need to afford. We'll keep the power armlet, ancient sword. I think everything else. Yes. Yes, and since Galuf left and he has both our main Gosh and the Elven Mantle means we don't have either. Fortunately, we have places we can go to try and re-gear up, because that is exactly what we're going to need to do. Stop in Jacol. And we also don't have any reason to go. Might as well buy a couple of these. We don't need the Mage Mashers, but I'll pick up a couple for fun of it. A ninja suit. Because we are going to be in full-on grind mode. Butts back at the top of the party, and because we have to. I mean, we don't have to, but we need flame rings. At least we want 4 flame rings, because we have actually no way to heal the party. There is none. So we also need death scythes. Fortunately, we have 1. We need 4. We need 4. So, grind time it is. A lot of grind time. Back attacks are going to be the bane of our existence. I forgot to buy a shield for Lena. That it was stupid of me. Let us run quickly to a place with shields, which is, I believe, Karnak. Right? Karnak? Yeah, he's still using Mithril, so yeah, Karnak. Which is actually a good place to grind for money if we didn't need the death scythes. Plus, we also need to buy rods for our 1 black mage. Mithril helms are they really better? Ah, couple of mithril gloves. By the way, each ring, yeah, they're just straight up better than the plumed hats. There we go. Now we're in grind mode. Anyway, flame rings are 50,000 apiece. And the reason the flame rings is we need them is that is going to be our healing, is going to be casting fire or Viagra on the party. Such is life. such as Fiesta, such as Berserker. There we go. And we also have an Elven Mantle we need to try and retrieve at some point. This is going to put Galuf massively behind in levels. Spoilers, it is a 4-job Fiesta. There are always 4 jobs. The Fiesta allows for an exception when there's less than a full party. Basically, it allows you to say, oh, X is in whichever class I don't have equipped. So basically, Galuf is in Black Mage, essentially. He isn't, but he effectively is. Vote. And now the grind begins. And this is gonna take a while. So I hope you prepared for something. Because I'm not gonna be doing anything for a while. That Death Scythe is going to pay for itself. I want to land. There we go. Be able to ferry us back and forth. Okay, here we go. This is where things are going to get dangerous, because Berserkers are completely random about what they attack. That Bio Soldier could be the last thing alive. Antidotes, of course. We lucked out there. We very easily could have died. What this also means is we're going to have a massive pharmacy at some point as well. But this also means our equipment buying is this is what makes Fiesta so helpful. Is you end up with massive reserves of cash, because you don't have to buy equipment for every class. However, we're also very likely to max out our classes this way on everybody but Galuf. Berserker apparently wants to eat lizard. But only the... Uh-oh, double lizard has changed around. That's not good. What have you guys done? You turned the double lizard around. That's not good. What have you guys done? And the other thing is, we don't get access to high potions for a while, so we only have the 50 health restore on regular potions for item use. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Remember about what I said about Berserker swinging wide? They swing wide. When one misses, they all miss. They are Berserker. There we go. I forgot. Apparently that has to be within window focus. My bad. My unfortunate. We're gonna be doing our best to try and speed up this grind as much as possible. Hence why I went with the triple Berserker team. Because otherwise this grind is gonna be unbearably long. Oh, Ferris did something or another. See how much faster that went? Admittingly, sound was probably quite horrible, so we'll be muting that. No, actually, I think we'll be keeping that in. That was only running at like 3000%, you know, speed. Oh, so everyone hit level 20. We're going to be hitting levels we shouldn't be hitting at this point in, at the end of World 1. Let us continue. Still nothing. These death sights are being highly elusive. And that is highly unfortunate. On the other hand, we're pretty close to close to like a third of the way. The first flame ring. So if nothing else, we'll get there sooner than later. And the stronger the Berserker gets, well, The longer they can stay out. They are now 2 levels ahead of Galf. Still no death scythes. At level 22, I plan on going to get the elf cape. We should just be able to plow through, with any luck, the creatures that lie in walls. I hope so anyway. So how is everybody this wonderful Monday morning? Hopefully your weekend was nice and relaxing. If not, well, I hope nothing horrible happened. Like these guys not dropping death scythes for reasons that elude me. I mean, seriously, how many of them have we killed? And not a single one has dropped a Death Sickle. Rude! It's a 1 in 16 chance every time. And yet, they're being very stingy with the Triple Berserker team. Perhaps they realize that is the solution we have for... some time. That's like the only solution. We can't even quick leak. Quick leaking is a term for a very specific set of strategies you can use with a time mage. Everything in the game can be quick leaked. Everything, every boss. There we go. First Death Sickle. You get on butts and you never leave. Hence why ogre killers are actually going to be useless. Now we have twice the instant death. We've just doubled the instant death we can do. And with level 22, we might as well hit up walls. Oddly enough, this moat does not count as something we can land the airship on. It's rather sad and odd. I need to see how much gold we have. We should be getting pretty close on Gil. Or at least we seem to be. Whoever really knows. Okay, we're almost halfway to the first ring. I think we're going to be farming the Karnak Woods. Well, I was gonna say extra Death Sickles doesn't hurt, but we really don't have a reason to even bother with that. Okay, here goes nothing. Yeah, they don't even drop anything useful. Berserkers are fortunately immune to Moon Flute. But as you can see, we can just kind of tear through them. There we go, the Elven Mantle. You go on Ferris. Which just is going to decrease our defense a little bit. And while we're here, pick up some very useless stuff. I mean, 1,000 gil puts us halfway there. I think we all remember the performance Galuf put on between that last Jackanape. And yes, I have had the speed up button the whole time. But, as you can hear what it does to the music, we really don't want to use it unless we have to. Anyway, that's all there was in Waltz. So back to the island for our third, and eventually, hopefully, our fourth Death Sickle. With any luck. Now, sadly, since Galuf does have the Mangosh, that is probably going to stay on him. So the only reason for the Death Sickle is, well, because it's the Death Sickle. It actually will be useful to have all three Berserkers with Death Scythes at some points, but not at this point. So we begin. And a useless speed shake. I did say we were going to be here a while. I don't honestly expect to make any progress, but I have things available in case we do. Let's see if we can't triple our death output. Come on, harvesters, just give me what I need. I just need 2 more Death Sickles and I will leave your island alone forever. I will never come to these shores again. Now that was cutting it close. I was hoping maybe they would respect the true strength of the Berserker, but I guess harvesters really don't care much for Berserker. I guess. I mean, I don't blame them. Who else would be wearing a wolf skin at this time of day? recording stopped? Why would my recording have... Oh well. Never mind. Minor technical difficulties of getting used to this whole streaming and recording at the same time thing. Minor technical difficulties. Apparently that's my stop record button. Huh, who would have thought? We're now multiple levels ahead of Galuf. I think 4. I think we're 4 levels ahead of Galuf now. And antidotes. Still nothing. Actually, we should see what the item store has. Potions, things we're going to need. Especially these. We're going to need a lot of those, and a lot of these. Because we do not have a way of curing any status ailment. Because we don't have a white mage. We just have the other kind of mage. There we go. 3rd Death Sickle acquired, and we almost have enough for the first ring. The first of 4 rings. Ooh boy. Fortunately, all that level haveling has no impact whatsoever on the instant death of the Death Sickle. Ah, finally a potion. We finally have a healing item again. And Lena cut that one very close. The problems of speeding things up. Hopefully we can get all this grinding we need done before we hit level, like, 35. Because it would be unfortunate otherwise. Although, by the looks of it, everyone is gonna know how to berserk anyway. Which means I can always throw a black mage in berserk and stick him with a mage masher. Although Ferris is likely to master her job much sooner than expected. And there's the next level. Everyone should be breaking 1,000 health at this point. And you can see the Death Sickles are making a huge impact on this grind. These speed shakes we'll never be able to use because we don't have a chemist. But severely survived that. And more speed shakes that we can't use. Oh, we are so close to that first ring. Oh, it's palatable. 45,000 health. And I believe we've gained 6 levels. I think we started at like 18? 19? I think it was 18. So, yeah, we've literally gained 6 levels in the process of this grind. And we have enough cash for 1 of 4 rings. Okay, they don't quite break 1,000 yet, but they are really close. And as we can see, the Elven Mantle is happening very briefly on Ferris every now and then. Though she seems to be the more favorite target right now. Ideally, the place to grind for cash right now is, I believe, outside of Karnak. And there it is, the last treasure, the last Death Sickle. We do not need to be here anymore. And there's our first ring. We are safe. Now, as for why... Oh, this is gonna conflict so badly with the need for the Elven Mantles. Basically, the Flame Rings are going to be the one necessity to keep us alive. We can probably kill Omega, but we won't be going for a Triple Crown. Now, since Lena's the fastest, he gets to be a Black Mage with double black. Now the reason for that is we're going to Karnak, because it's just slightly better to grind for cash there. But first, we need to obtain our first ring. And here we are at Istori. Somewhere in here is a place that sells rings. There we are. And the reason the flame rings are getting bought as opposed to the coral is we don't have an access to an ample source of water. And angel rings are just useless. There we go, we now have a way of healing. And sadly, ribbons will never be needed on anything. As you can see, they're just not very good. Except for increasing the magic defense and regular defense, they're not that good. But we can now cast fire safely on Lena and not have her die. This is very important, because as I said, we're going to be grinding outside of Karnak now. Which actually means we need to rest inside Karnak, which is, I believe, a little on the expensive side. I think it's like 20. Now we just need another 150,000. Yeah, there's a reason I have Lena going first. Okay, is there something in quick configuration? Let's turn up the battle speed. Because these I'm going to want to run in normal manner. Only due to the fact the wolves are actually weak against fire. As you can see, that was like 7, no, that was like a little over 6. It might actually be worth it to continue to grind on Crescent due to the actual speed at which, yeah, it's actually going to be easier to go out there and stay in Berserker state. So this is an aborting attempt. Abortative attempt. But notice she's keeping the flame ring. That is very helpful in the future. Anyway, attempt number 2 at grind. See, it's just actually faster thanks to the speed up. If it was on a straight money basis, yeah, it's actually pretty close, actually. I did say this was gonna take a long time. And like I said, this is before any progress is being made. There's progress to be made, just not here. Because there are actually like 3 bosses, I believe, in between us and the next location. And a free extra Death Sickle for our troubles. They're apologizing. At least we won't have to worry about antidotes for some time. I think Ferris did survive that somehow. Oh boy. If anyone has any ideas if we can get flame rings in World 2, I would take those suggestions now. If there is a place I can get them in World 2, I would gladly end the grind so we can move on. Because this is actually starting to wear me down a little. And we just started not that long ago. Oh, yeah. And Butts did not survive that. Off to the inn we go. Oh boy. Yeah, there's actually no way and no location to, sorry about that. I was just reading up on the location of flame rings. And yeah, until World 3, there is not one. And since we need that for the endurance, because we have triple berserker, grind is a necessity. At least the Death Sickles are proving their worth. It doesn't matter how we get smacked around, our levels get halved. All these little enemies are weak, are not immune to instant death. Doesn't even matter if we're in the back row. That just means we take less damage. Another Death Sickle. Just throw them on the pile. Wonder how many we'll get by the end of the grind. We are going to be here sometime. At least, on the bright side, we have our Death Sickles. If we had ninjas, we had one ninja, we would have need of up to 8. At least. With one ninja and double berserker. Yeah, with one ninja and double berserker. Yeah, we would need up to 6. Okay, the game is mocking me again. More levels for us. And now we have 4 spare Death Sickles. It's rather unfortunate that the Death Sickle itself cannot be snapped to create instant death spells. That would be funny. Instant level 5 or 4 death would be so good. Now, I do not know why that's not the case, because let's be honest, we're almost to the next ring. What can we say? Crescent Island is beautiful. This time of year, middle of summer, you know, just past spring. All the beautiful lights, sounds, the hustle and bustle of the big city of Crescent Island, Crescent Village, famous tourist attraction. And now the berserkers begin to get large. The grind takes longer and longer to wear them down to the state where they're not going to be useful. This is what makes Berserker a 7th, 8th, 9th Death Sickle. 9th. I think the more of them you have in the bag, the more the game makes them drop. I mean, that would be a cool little bit of programming that I would have stuck in. Like, oh, here's this kind of semi-rare item, semi-rare drop, and the more of it you have, the more of it will drop. I didn't even see how much cash I had, but we must be getting awfully close to that second ring. Which, again, is not something we can just do without, because we also need these elven mantles. Okay, 39. So we got another 8,000 out there. Okay, so we're getting much closer. Every trip comes a few thousand. And Ferris is getting so close to... And this is with 1 ability point per battle, I believe. We started out with, I think, right around 100. That's how many battles we fought. We can literally see how many battles it's taken us to get to this point. Sorry, got distracted again with momentary odd thoughts. Oh, looks like Butts gained a level. And that bio nearly killed us. This is why I save every trip. And then again, we're also at 44,000. So I think what I'm going to do is only get 3 rings. Because we are getting close to what most people would, a lot of Fiesta runners will end World 2 level at. Yeah, we are level 28. They normally end early 30s, which might be considered a low level run. I mean, if you had triple Berserker up until this point, up until Sandworm, you would literally have to get to end game levels in order to beat Sandworm. There's no other way to beat Sandworm. Because you don't get the ship until... I mean, you have the Chocobo, so this is a spot you could grind. And you probably should, because Death Sickles are amazing, as you can see. Oh, we're so close to that second ring. We kind of want... Yeah, I kind of want 4 rings. So I'm going to try and push through to 150,000 from this point. And let's be honest, in the amount of time we've been here, you know, we've been live for 50 minutes, we're actually not doing half bad. Hopefully, we can finish the grind up by the time 11 o'clock rolls around. Or shortly thereabout, whenever I get tired enough. Which is sadly the determining factor in these streams, is how tired and distracted I get. Because my mind just wanders to random places and I stop focusing on what I'm doing. I'm not even gonna say. Look, another Death Sickle. You know, I have 11. Maybe one of these days. Anyway, I'm still trying to figure out the whole schedule thing. Because I forgot, I do my, my grocery shopping, actually, every Monday. So that would be a Monday phenomenon. Would be a later stream every morning. Every Monday morning. Which, you know, I'd still try and make it a couple of hours here and there. But I have been tracking down... things I want to do, I would want to do on the Twitch channel in lieu of this. Things that aren't necessarily straight RPGs, but would be rather tedious in, let's say, an LP form. I have one that I've tracked down that's... I remember having great fun with it as a kid. Sadly never owned it, but I've played it. A couple of those used to play it on our old Packard, of all the machines, computers we had growing up. We ended up with 3 during the days of dial-up internet. And played that one on our old Pentium 1. A lot. Because we had a Pentium 1, a literal IBM, that I think had a Pentium 3? Oh, look, a 12th Death Scythe. 13th Death Scythe. Anyway, yeah, Pentium 3, I think. IBM, and then we ended up with an E-machine, which I think had a Pentium 4 in it. Maybe it was a 2 and a 4. I don't remember. All I know is the IBM computer was a piece of garbage. It had a problem staying on. And the first two computers I mentioned, the Packard Bell and the IBM, both ran Millennium Edition of Windows. I just heard several IT cringe, because it wasn't a very good operating system. But for that Packard Bell, it was rock solid. What wasn't so rock solid was that IBM. I think it had a motherboard problem. Because it kept blue screening on us after being on for just a very short amount of time. Which was unfortunate, which was very unfortunate. So, while the most powerful and stable machine we had at the time, the E-machine, which I also heard a bunch of people cringe when I said that, well, that was being in use, I would play on the old Pentium 1 machine this game, and a couple of others, because Game Boy Color games are sadly amazingly easy to emulate, especially on a Pentium 1 apparently. They ran at full speed, no problem. I was a kid at the time, introduced to the joys of emulating systems I didn't have. I was not the one to own a Game Boy Color. Oddly enough, that was my sister. She bought it off of a friend my brother had. After upgrading to the, after gaining a Game Boy Pocket at some point. I think she bought it off of him as well. But anyway, yeah, she had the Game Boy Color, and I didn't get to experience anything on the Color until after I had my Game Boy Advance. There were still some very good games on the Color. Hopefully I'll get to show off some of them. Which is sadly because I can't really go above, at most this is the technical level we can handle. Due to internet speeds. But the Super Nintendo grew up with, so anything during that era is perfectly legit. We might be able to try some early PlayStation 1 if I feel particularly risky. And so that's what we can kind of expect to stream. Anything I happen to have in my Steam library that's around that kind of level of graphical quality. So things like Sword of the Stars, The Pit, Dungeons of Dreadmore, things of that nature that are not heavily graphically intensive, that doesn't need all the detail being shown through on it. And also not going to tax my computer, because while the computer is pretty strong, the Grand Line, I believe this is Mark II, it's the second computer I've called that, is powerful compared to its predecessor by a significant margin, which is very true. I don't want to risk overwhelming it too much. Which this computer is looking at an upgrade within the next probably couple of years. 14th Death Sickle, if you're paying attention. Bio was pretty strong there. Okay, we are almost we're halfway. We are more than halfway to our numbers. Reminder, we started this at level 18, which is the level Galuf's gonna be at when he is reintroduced during World 2. I almost said World War 2, but that would be awkward. Then again, considering what happens in World 2, and I'm not gonna spoil it for everybody, so Yeah, it could be basically described as a world war going on. Really no other way to put it. I think we just hit level 30. Yes, we did. The amount of time, as you can see, it says we've been playing for 10 hours. Yeah, speed up messes up with the... If we had to do this by hand, one battle at a time at normal speed, I don't want to imagine how long we'd be here. Probably several minutes of battle. Mainly because, I don't end the battles right away. For 15th Death Sickle. We can end with like 16. It would have been real nice to end with like 13, but that's not gonna happen. They're just dropping too frequently. And we don't have a ninja to throw them at someone. Now that is fun. Just throwing things. Ninjas are flipping brilliant in this game. But sadly, we just rolled 1 black mage and 3 berserkers. If we'd rolled a berserker at the beginning, I would have suspected something was up, and at least have been prepared and ground everybody while everyone was here. Sadly, not everybody's here. Ah, Gatorade. Delicious way to try and keep me awake, and that's going. It's the drink of all berserkers. Actually, at this rate, probably have our rings by 10:30. So we will actually be able to make some progress. Now, the thing about this progress is, I'm gonna try and keep it in cruise mode here with berserkers. That was 16th and 17th Death Sickle. So that's still a lot of Death Sickles that no one is going to be able to use. I guess we're going to make a throne out of them. In fact, we've had more Death Sickles drop than potions and antidotes. Which is amazing when you think about it. I think we're gonna try and get Ferris up to her next job level, which is 17th. That's 18th Death Sickle, because right, 15 plus 3 is 18. Things like that. Things of that nature. Okay. 19th Death Sickle. Oh no, the Sahagin. They could actually kill us. The nice thing about Berserker is, if you haven't noticed, most characters won't attack when you try and run away. Berserker does not care. Berserker is Berserker. It will try and murder you because it's Berserker. And the next set of enemies aren't immune to death. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually have the bestiary open in a window, because unlike some people, I don't play this game blind, although there are plenty of games I will play blind as the streams continue and go. We can count on that. There will be plenty of games blind. So there's always that, and a 20th Death Sickle. We almost have enough Death Sickles to be able to drink. If a Death Sickle was an age, every Death Sickle was a year, we could almost drink in the US. You have to be 21 Death Sickles strong. I'm sorry, you must have 30 Death Sickles in order to enter to try and kill X-Death with Galuf and Krylie. But I've still heard plenty of people who call her Kryl, but according to Final Fantasy XIV's pronunciations, which, given they try and function a lot like older Middle English, and they do a pretty good job of it. 21st Death Sickle. Maybe the E is just actually would be quiet in modern English, but not in the middles, not in the Middle Englishes. But then again, we don't speak the Middle Englishes. See, most people will call what is actually linguistically called Middle English Old English, and that's not the case. Old English is what Beowulf is written in, and it looks nothing like English at all. Shakespeare wrote in Middle English. Could be possibly argued what we're suffering through now is another vowel shift. Well, not a vowel shift. There was a very specific vowel shift in the Norse times, when the Norse came and invaded. 22nd Death Sickle. English took the vowels that the Norse had, and the Norse had 23rd Death Sickle. A lot of vowels. English didn't have many vowels before then. So it did like English did when the Normans invaded and took a lot of their vocabulary. And eventually they got lessened and let down. The printing press and Shakespeare helped a lot with that. You know, as literacy went around, words got more cemented. US English got differentiated thanks to Noah Webster and Benjamin Franklin more than anyone else. Hence the lack of U's in some words. But English, the history of English linguistics. Oh, we are so close. Anyway, is an interesting study, and I'm not a linguist by any stretch. My degree is in computer science, of all things. But I did have a couple of classes of English in college, and that was one of the things we studied was the Great Vowel Shift, as it was called, and how that's influenced modern English. And I'm not going to say we're in the midst of a transformation of English again, because English is not set in stone. As with a lot of languages, it's very malleable, especially through time. Picks up words, it drops them, more than a lot of other languages. The joke. I'm not sure if you've heard it. English likes to take other languages behind the dark alley, beat them unconscious, and then rifle through their pockets for loose vocabulary. Hence why there's a lot of French, a lot of Latin in English, as opposed to its closest related language, which is actually German. English is considered a Germanic language. Which there's a few of them in the world. Not the smallest of which is actually German. And yet, as you know, English sounds nothing at all like its fellow languages. That's just the way English developed. Developed on the land of England, tiny isolated island, does a lot of things to a lot of things. 25th Death Sickle? 24th. Not tell you to hit that button. 24th Death Sickle. We still have a little ways to go yet, but we'll actually make progress. We'll be making progress in a bit. Like I said, these Death Sickles are amazing in their potency. But this is the type of grind you expect when you have a Berserker heavy run. Because this is just what happens. This is what Berserkers are. Oh, and Ferris has mastered Berserker. This is good. Because what I'm now going... Berserker only has 2 levels. So what I'm going to do now is put her in Black Mage and give her equip axes. Now, sadly, I can't berserk her. But what this does... We now have the Black Mage wielding a Death Sickle with very high strength. Mainly pitiful defense. But that's what these Elven Mantles are for. We now have a Death Mage. Admittingly, I'm going to put her back in Berserker. And give it the ability to wield axes, because I don't believe... No, that has absolutely no impact on anything. But that is how you get your mages to hit like a truck. Or, in fact, most mages can be made to hit like a truck when you give them an equip physical weapon skill. You don't learn this specifically until World 2, but it is a massive, brilliant design decision. Sadly, we can't really make huge use of that because, as you saw, we only have 1 equip slot. And I did put Ferris in the back row, which was dumb. But we are so close to fording the rings. This is what's gonna make or break us, is this grind. Did it put... No. Right, Elven Mantle is considered worse than everything. 21 Death Sickle. 21 Death Sickles. Amazing. Might even be worth it to, take the main Gosh off of Galuf. Well, no, because he's going to be our black... No. Yeah, he's not going to be a black... Yeah, he's going to be a Black Mage. He has no reason to be angry anymore. But Lena, Ferris, they have reasons to be angry. A lot of speed shakes. Fortunately, that's all money. But unfortunately, they're not really worth a lot, as we saw at the beginning of the stream / video for those who are watching in the future. If anyone decides to watch this in the future. First Fiesta is going swimmingly. We'll actually make huge progress in World 2. That's going to be ridiculous. Thanks to the grind we did here. Starting just for the Death Sickles. But, we did need those rings. We are so close. We only have, like, 10 more battles, I think. But then we also have to afford rods, because I do believe there's no place in World 2 that sells rods. So there will be a little bit of a grind. On top of that, we do need some item cache as well. So, let's go through here. Get rid of our useless junk, including our 50 speed shakes. We only need one set of black mage gear. Might as well get rid of all of those. Don't need the power armlet. Mage Mesher's good. And as we can see here, we currently have the cash necessary. But we want to have some items on hand. And that's our items. We probably should have bought them actually up in Licks, now that I think about it. Because Licks, everything's half off. So any further cash grind after we get to 150 will be to get to Licks and see what their pharmacy has for sale. Because that's not all the status effects at all. 25th Death Sickle. Yes, I'm making this into a running joke, because it is a running joke. And I think we might have just dropped a potion on the ground because I maxed out our potions. But yeah, sadly, due to the way Fiesta set up, this is when you get multiple Berserkers, which this was, by the way, a pure Chaos stream, which I believe did not run for duplicates, but also I did ask for a Berserker risk, which is every roll I get is a chance for Berserker. And that's what makes pure Chaos Berserker risk so good. You never know. Are you gonna get a job from anything, or are you gonna get Berserker? You always get Berserker. And also Berserker risk is, I believe, if you register beforehand for a Berserker risk before the Fiesta starts, you can get a Berserker risk. And it's all taken into account beforehand. All the money that's raised before Fiesta starts determines the amount of Berserkers that are distributed for Berserker risk. Apparently, I got really lucky. And I either rolled 3 of them, or I rolled 2 of them. I'm not sure. A Gilgabot and the entire Fiesta thing is just not so set up for that. Not to tell me anyway, the stats. Maybe someone will have figured it out in post at some point. We are back to 130,000. If we can hit actually 190, that'll be more than enough to purchase a lot of things. Our 26th Death Sickle. We are so close. Okay, someone's getting a little low on health. Yes, we just threw away. Actually, we don't even have to stay at an inn. I'm just gonna tent. So the grind can continue. But yeah, if we can get up to like 190, we'll be good. And now notice, Tent didn't heal all of Lena's wounds. Tent only heals up to 1,000. Hence why cottages exist. They're straight up everything. Not something you would need until World 2 unless you're doing something very, very unusual like what we're doing here. Okay. Let's use up some of those potions that we have so many of. Now, I'm not trying to get Berserker all, you know, mastered and everything. It just, Berserker has 2 really low level caps. Because there's really not much to a Berserker. They Berserk and they equip axes. In fact, they're the only class, I believe, that can equip axes. Unless you master Berserker. And normally you wouldn't have a reason to, because Berserker is, for all intents and purposes, rather not a good class. Currently level 34. So yeah, there's really not a reason to have Berserker, much less master it. Unless you're literally trying to master every class, which I do not recommend. The grind you're gonna have to do, Pales actually puts this 27th. Death Sickle. Makes this look normal, 28th. Death Sickle. Yeah, so I would not recommend it, and that's assuming you have enemies that give you decent ability points, which the enemies here are not. Basically since we started, because both Elena and Butts were at 0 ability points. We have run 287 battles since they broke level 1, which was 100 ability points. We have run nearly 400 battles. 400 battles in this grind so far. We're not done yet. We're close to buying our 3 rings. And I say 3 because I kind of want the Black Mage to keep himself alive as well. Because basically that's going to be his job. Berserkers are going to kill everything. And it's his job to ensure no one dies. Which is going to be annoying because there are undead enemies. And Death Sickles... 28th... 9th. Death Sickles, you don't want them to be attacking. Because death triggers on them, that's an instant full health. That is basically a phoenix down on an enemy. And there are several undead enemies. So it will be important at some point to have non-Death Sickle things to be equipped. Hence the Mage Mashers. 20... No, that's a 30th. That's a 30th Death Sickle. And we're up to almost 160. Problem is 150 of that is spoken for. So we need a few more 1,000 in order to ensure that we can afford a couple of things. Mainly as many rods as I can carry, of all variety. And Ferris is almost dead. Let's spend another tent or 2. I think just the 1, and we'll be fine. And we'll be making progress. 414 battles. We are now approaching what would normally be considered endgame levels for starting levels for World 3. Spoilers, there are 3 acts to this game, as you would expect. I mean, all stories tend to have 3 acts anyway. So that shouldn't be a surprise. But yeah, we're approaching beginning to maybe even mid World 3 levels. Although level cap is, I believe, 99, you won't have a reason to get there. Even this kind of a grind would be considered by everyone who didn't have 3 berserkers and who's just playing through casually, which I might do at some point. Show off the various classes on a non-Fiesta time, you know, things like that. Maybe in preparation for next Fiesta. We'll think about it. We'll sleep on it. Much like these berserkers. Beautiful berserkers that just rest. And that's the best part about Berserker is, I actually don't have any control over anything. Notice that we're now at, 14 hours, as opposed to the 10 at last time I looked. And I don't know what it was when we started. So, I'll have to look back in the tapes. But, according to this game, we've spent a lot of time just sitting around on Crescent Island, killing just everything. For no reason, as far as I can tell. And we've spent probably longer on Crescent Island officially in game timer than we have getting to this point. 32nd Death Sickle. And that's kind of where I want to leave the Death Sickles at. The Death Sickle number at 32. So if we don't get any more Death Sickles, well, I'll be happy. If we can somehow pull 3 more out of the ether and then I have 32 in the inventory, that'd be good too. Yeah, 190 should be more than enough. Now, what this means I can't actually equip, say, the Hermes sandals for good reason, because I've got no way to change equipment once Berserker happens. So I either have to be severely over-leveled to everything, which we pretty much are at this point, and we'll be able to steamroll most of World 2. We might even be able to tackle the Gill Cave. Gill Cave is not necessary. We have so much money. 33rd Death Sickle. That's close enough. Close enough. History. Yes, we just ground almost all the way through Butz's and Lena's Berserker ranks. Holy crap. That is amazing. Anyway, 3 of those, and we never step foot in History again. Ferris? Oh, Ferris. What are we gonna do with these characters? Ferris gets to stay in the Elven Mantle. Yes, Ferris gets to stay in the Elven Mantle. Look at that. Level 35. Level 35 and about to exit out of the first world. Now, question is, can I get ship to land in that tiny corner? Oh, come on. Airship. This is a problem, actually, on the physical hardware as well. It just does not want to land on the... It does not want to go these single... There we go, spaces. So, back to Licks. Where's that item shop at? Item shop. There he is. Maybe he had some useful things. Okay, he carries ethers, which are pretty useless at this point. No, he doesn't actually carry anything important. Ninja Man. Ninja suit is useless. Plus. Is it? Lena. Give me your ninja suit. But this is slightly better. It gives him 1 higher agility. So I'm going to purchase a ninja suit. For Lena, because it's slightly better than the mithril armor. Actually, it's much better because it drops her equipped weight down a lot. Anyway. $30 extra Death Sickles. Oh my. 30 extra Death Sickles. That is just... The game decided to give them up at the end. I mean, we could buy a ton of ethers. We'll buy 20. Everything else is for rods. Try and split it up as best we can, 3 ways with 22,000. Can't even buy 10,000's worth of them a piece. But we'll actually make some progress next time. This is, I'm gonna be honest, it was a little excessive to go this route and do this. There's the Doman Chimera land. But what we have succeeded in doing is preparing for the future. The future of Rod. Okay, we have none of those. I could afford 12. Try and make this even. I have an even 12 of each. By the way, I was wrong when I said that they cast a level 2 magic. They actually cast the Agas, as you probably noticed. So they cast actually tier 3. And I hope 12 is going to be enough. I mean, we have 3 level 35 Berserkers. I'm not gonna lie, Galuf is going to be the Black Mage behind everybody. Which means, yes, he's going to be having the Mingosh and the Elven Cape to stay alive. Oh, this is not gonna end well. Or is it? Well. Might as well kick it off with where we need to go. If, at this point, you haven't figured out that when you don't know what to do, you come over to Crescent Island and you talk to Sid and Mid. We'll see you guys next time. This is Stomping Llama, signing out. See you tomorrow.